Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. I know that we just did, hi Jellybean, hi Bella. These are my dogs. They are the true stars of the show. This is Jellybean. That there is Bella. She'll probably be back. Oh, Bella Boo! In today's video, I have quite a few more books that I'm going to unhaul. And I know that in October, as part of Veda, I unhauled quite a few books. I want to say 80-ish. I have a good stack here. Most of them are going to go up on Pango Books, which I'll link down below, but some might be sent to friends and family. I am moving in December, and technically I don't need to get rid of any books because we're not moving that far. And even if we were, this is something that I'm really passionate about and that I like doing. I like reading and I like filming, and I just like being present in the community. However, I am looking at this move as a fresh start, and in order to have a fresh start, I went through all of my books except for the ones on the bottom because those are already on my Pango bookstore. So maybe the next video will literally just be me talking about the books, all the books that I'm unhauling that are still on Pango Books that you can go check out. I want to preface this video by saying no one is forcing me to do this. Please do not send help. And I'm not Morse coding you anything. Seriously, this is fine. I just really need to change some of my book habits. I have a lot of young adult books and I just don't like them. I think after going through all my books, I have maybe 10 young adult novels left. Some that I've read, some that I haven't. I just am really, really picky. And I don't connect to young adult anymore, so I don't really enjoy reading it anymore. And I think I'm kind of at that weird place in my life where I'm just growing up. She says is almost a 30-year-old woman. I'm just growing up. I don't connect to the young adult books. I don't like them anymore. So we're just going to do another big unhaul. A lot of them are young adult books. Some of them have different reasons that I'm getting rid of them, and some of them just whatever. I mean, we'll talk about it. So let's just get into it. I'm going to try and do this with Bella Boo right here. This is Bella Boo. Her name is Bella, or Belly, because, she got a big belly. So we might just do a speed round. The first section will be the young adult novels that I'm getting rid of because they're young adult, and if I'm being real with myself, I'm not going to read them. So there's All American Boys by Jason Reynolds, Brendan Keeley. I'm sure this is an amazing book. It's going to be hard-hitting. It's going to be about racism and a lot of things like that. I just don't connect to young adult anymore. That's the only reason. Then The Haters by Jesse Andrews. A Map for Wrecked Girls by Jessica Taylor. 10 Blind Dates by Ashley Elston, although part of me thinks I might keep this. No, because it takes place during the Christmas season. No, gone. Our Wayward Fate by Gloria Chow. Now and When by Sarah Bennett Wheeler. This is also sci-fi. The Mockingbirds by Daisy Whitney. My Heart and Other Black Holes by Jasmine Wagger. They All Fall Down by Roxanne St. Clair. Poison Study and Magic Study by Marie V. Snyder. This is a series in which I was really excited for because I thought it was going to be like The Ravens, but first off, it's young adult. Did not know that. And second off, I think it's like historical fiction, which is not really good for me. But Poison Study starts with this girl who is due to get executed for something, and she instead, like the person that tastes all of the king's food, dies. So she becomes the Poison Study. She becomes the person that has to taste all of his food so she doesn't get executed. And like, it just doesn't sound good to me. I know by all means a lot of people are gonna love this or like say that that sounds amazing, but for me, not so much. Not what I thought it was. Then What We Saw by Erin Hasler. This one I'm getting rid of for two reasons. First off, I've started it. I think I made it like 60-ish, 62 pages. Didn't take my bookmark out. And I wasn't liking it. It's also young adult. It's a very contemporary young adult. And it's not what I was expecting. So the next book was sent to me by the publisher, so thank you. This was Coven by Jennifer Dugan and Kit Seaton. I really love the artwork in here. I thought this story was kind of generic. I think I ended up giving it like 3 stars, 4 stars, something like that. Am I ever going to reread it? No. Follower by Kate Doty is another young adult thriller. Magnificent, which is like a beautiful edition. I mean, look at the black sprayed edges and everything, but again, it's not my vibe. What I Carry by Jennifer Longo. There's City of Villains by Estelle Lore. Again, it's like the Magnificent book. Like, this one is actually Maleficent's backstory, and like, I just don't care. The Hole by Guy Burt. I was buying all these short little horror novellas or novels. And I'm not at all interested in this. This is about a bunch of teenagers that go underground in London, and their friend shuts the door while they're underground in these tunnel thingies, and then people start dying. And the last young adult novel that I'm getting rid of is No True Believers by Rabbi York Lombard. Oh, just kidding. This is the last young adult. Witches of Ashen Ruin by E. Latimer. I've tried to read this. I just don't care. It's a young adult fantasy. It's just not for me. These two are by an author that I've read from before, but I didn't really like either of the things I've read by him, so I just don't think his writing is for me. And you know what? It's finally time to say goodbye. It's okay. I don't have to like every thriller that I read. In fact, it would make my life very boring if I only read thrillers that I loved. So I'm going to just get rid of both Harlan Coben books that I have. There's Hold Tight and The Stranger. Just don't. They bring me no joy. I don't need them. Oh, here's the last Harlan Coben. No Second Chance. I am going to unroll these Sandra Brown books. And I know what you're thinking. Didn't you just haul those? And like, yes, I just hauled these in July. And no, I haven't read them. But I don't really tend to read Sandra Brown anymore. It was, see, what happened was that Grandma died. My Baga, she passed away. and I was grieving. So when I grieve, sometimes like if I'm shopping or something and I see something that reminds me of that person, I just instantly grab it. I don't really like think, is it really something that I'm gonna love? Yeah, maybe grandma liked it, or we connected on this author before, but honestly, I just don't read Sandra Brown anymore, and it's okay for me to give these up. I'm probably going to send these to my mom. She doesn't read a ton, but I feel like she would appreciate Sandra Brown books more than me. So I'm going to send her Smash Cut, Mean Streak, and The Witness. I have some Book of the Month books that I was holding on to because I pay for that subscription. I think December is going to be the last month that I pay for it. I'm not only trying to minimize. Oh my gosh, I'm a teacher. I should know this. I'm not only trying to minimize my, like, the amount of things that I actually have, like my TBR, the books that I've loved, so I'm keeping, but I'm also trying to reassess my subscriptions, some of the things that I subscribe to. I will not be continuing with Book of the Month in the new year. I'm giving myself December to pick a book, but I just generally I like some. I would say I like 50 to 70% of the books that I buy from Book of the Month through my service, but you can get these books at the store, and I just want to be more self-conscious of the things that I'm buying, including like the subscriptions that I have. So I don't know, I feel weird talking about it, but I think I'm going to cancel. So with that being said, I have like 4 Book of the Month books, 2 that I technically haven't read, 1 that I technically haven't read, and 1 that I DNF'd, and then 2 that I've read, but I'm not going to reread, so I'm going to get rid of them. The first one is The Holdout by Graham Moore. I DNF'd this like 60 pages in. 60 pages. Lucky page number 63. Yeah, this just wasn't what I thought it was, and I don't need it. Beasts of Extraordinary Circumstance by Ruth Emmyling. This is like a character-driven book, and I'm not the right reader for that. I need a plot-driven book with solid characters, but like plot-driven. I read Well Met by Jen DeLuca. I actually really did enjoy this one. I think I gave it 4 or 5 stars. Looking back, it's a 4-star, but it was really cute. It was like the banter in here is good. There's a Renaissance fair. It was cute. There's hate to love, which is one of my favorite tropes. I'm not going to reread it, and I'm not going to continue on with the series. Like, if I was going to continue on with the series, it would have been done by now. Like, I don't care enough. Like, it was good. I give it 4 stars. It's good. I recommend it to an extent, but like, if I'm gonna reread a romance, it's not gonna be Well Met by Jen DeLuca. And then, I think I'm also going to send this one to my mom. This one is Part of Your World by Abby Haminsey. This one is actually really good. I gave it 5 stars. But I've read everything from this author, and this one is my least favorite. With that being said, it's still a 5-star book. I still really, really enjoyed it. I was just thinking that if I'm going to reread a romance by this author, it's not going to be Part of Your World. Although this was enjoyable and I had fun with it, it's more of a like one and done type of thing for this book. But her other series, like the Happily Ever After playlist series, I still need to get the first book from that series, but the first one is my least favorite anyway. So I would probably reread that series over this book because this is a standalone. And, you know, for a romance, it's pretty chunky. It's kind of a forbidden-ish romance, but kind of like light forbiddenness because it's a cultural romance, and Alexis's family wants her to settle down and get married, but they want her to marry another Indian man. They don't want her to marry someone, you know, outside of their culture, which makes sense. Like, some people are really into that. It's kind of foodish, which I really like. There are some really good aspects of this book that I love. I just think that, like I said, I'm going to reread other things before I reread this. And I still would recommend this. Then a thriller that, like, I've read the back of a million times. Still have no idea what this book is about. Don't really care. If I remember correctly, it's about, like, these college roommates who meet, like, 20 years later and gossip. Just doesn't sound that good. It's Always the Husband by Michelle Campbell. The rest of these books I have read, and I like all of them. But I was thinking, like, am I really gonna reread any of these? And the answer is no, I'm not. Am I happy that I defeated all of them and read them? Yes. Did I enjoy them? Yes. These are all 4 and 5-star books for me. I'm just not going to reread them, so it's time to just say goodbye. So there's Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. We read this in high school, and then I bought it because, like, I enjoyed it in high school, and I did reread it within the past 10 years since high school. Probably like once, but, you know, it's fine. It's probably one of the only classics that I like at all. I'm not really big on classics, and you know what? I'm finally coming to terms with that, and I'm okay with that. Now, this book, I do not tab books, but look at all these tabs. Like, I tabbed the heck out of this book. I read this in one night, and I highly, highly recommend it. This is Rescue by Michael Heath. I got a copy sent to me, so thank you to the author. Absolutely love this. This book wrecked my soul. I think I read it last year in 2021, but the likelihood of me rereading this book is probably very slim, so I want to give someone else a chance to enjoy it. Then I'm getting rid of Confess by Colleen Hoover. I enjoyed this book. I gave it 4 stars. It's a perfectly good book. But I've read other books by this author that are better. In fact, I still have them on my shelves. So if I reread a Colleen Hoover book, it's not going to be Confess. It'll probably just sit on my shelf collecting dust. So, again, good book. Gave it 4 stars. Recommend it. But there are books that are better. Then I have Edgar Allan Poe. I've read this book, and I really like Edgar Allan Poe, but I'm not going to reread this edition ever. Am I ever going to reread Edgar Allan Poe? I don't know. We'll see. I have one more book, but before we get to it, I might also be getting rid of H.P. Lovecraft very soon. I haven't read them, but I don't really like short stories, so I don't know what I was thinking. Sorry about that. I missed an entire shelf of books that I have grabbed some more books to unhaul. So Bella decided to come join me. So she's gonna stay on my lap. And we're gonna speed around this? Probably not, actually. To be honest with you. I'm just gonna tell you about these books. Why I'm unhauling them. It's not all negativity. It's just I've grown out of young adult. A lot of these are young adult. And I'm getting to the point where I want my bookshelves to represent me and the things that I like. So if I have a book that I liked when I read it, but I'm never gonna reread it, no point in keeping it. On that note, let's start with Things We Do in the Dark by Jennifer Hillier. This was a book of the month choice this year. I read it this summer, and I had fun with it. I did like it. I think I gave it 4 stars, 5 stars. I think it was 4. It was a fun time, but I'm not gonna reread it. Then I did decide, one of these books is, okay, these are such beautiful copies, but I don't like short stories, so I don't know. I think I bought it because of how beautiful this cover is. Cover is so beautiful. Classic Tales of Horror. I don't like classics, and I don't like short stories, so you know what? I'm just not going to, but I mean, look, that beauty, and there's bats up here. I don't know if you can see that, but there's bats up here and on this side, and gold sprayed edges. This is a very beautiful book, but I'm really not gonna read it, so it's gotta be unhauled. So I'm also gonna get rid of Gallery of Horror, 20 Chilling Tales by the Modern Masters of Dread. So it's just short stories. I don't care about short stories. I don't like reading them. This one hurts a little. Not because I'm excited to read it, but because I've hyped it up so much on my channel. And this is Great Tales of Horror by H.P. Lovecraft. I've never read anything by H.P. Lovecraft, and everyone says if I like Edgar Allan Poe, which Edgar Allan Poe is amazing. Love him. That I might like H.P. Lovecraft too, and that might be true. But the reason that I got this book is very, very shallow. So please don't judge me, but I got it because Jughead from Riverdale always talks about H.P. Lovecraft, and it's Jughead, or it's Jughead, but no, that is not a good enough reason to buy a book because a character on a TV show or a movie says to. I mean, if that's what you do you, boo. But like me, I just need to not anymore. This is an amazing edition of the Complete Grimm's Fairy Tales, illustrated by Arthur Rackham. And like these illustrations, I mean, first off, look at that tiny text. There are so many words, and I read this entire thing and I was really proud of myself. But I mean, like, look at this illustrations in here. The likelihood of me rereading this, especially because it's so beautiful, not gonna happen. Just not gonna happen. So I'm gonna get rid of it. Along with a treasury of best loved fairy tales. This is massive. I did not finish this one all the way. It's like 800 pages, I'm sorry. It's like 732 pages. I didn't finish it. I'm not gonna finish it. I feel like I conquered the Complete Grimm's Fairy Tales, and those are the ones that I really wanted to read. I'm gonna be unhulling The Poet by Lisa Renee Jones. This follows a serial killer, and that's all that I know, but like, it's been on my shelf for a long time. I don't need it. I'm gonna unhaul The Whisper Man by Alex North. I read The Shadows. His other book. Didn't like it. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna get rid of Darling Girl by Liz Mikowski. This is a Peter Pan retelling, and at the time that I got this, I thought that I wanted everything retelling related, but like, no. Wow. And then these two are just young adult thrillers that I'm really not gonna get to. So, like, let's just unhaul them. There's The Murder Game by Carrie Doyle and Throwaway Girls by Andre Contonce. So I think that is all the books I'm unhauling. Then thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, where we're always talking about bookish things. And right now in particular, we are trying to be very mindful and just cleanse our soul. Cleanse our soul and cleanse our bookshelves and purge, and it just seems like it's time. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to like it and subscribe. I'll see you guys later.